I'm Roy Lee Lindsay with the North Carolina Pork Council, and I want everyone to remember, bacon makes everything better.
Welcome back to the David Glenn Show. Our next guest is the reigning Atlantic Coast Conference Player of the Year. He was a first-team All-American. He is now in his 5th year with the Tar Heels. R.J. Davis, welcome back to the David Glenn Show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. There aren't many good things about the pandemic, but have you ever thought about the fact that but for the pandemic, there wouldn't even be the possibility of a 5th full year with the Tar Heels?
I mean, it's crazy. I didn't really put that into perspective or even think that would be a chance or an opportunity to take advantage of. So, I mean, I'm just blessed to have another year under my belt and being able to take advantage of it. I'm ready for it.
I know you know quite a bit about UNC history. Yep. I will not ask you to name all of the ACC Players of the Year from UNC. But dudes like Michael Jordan and Phil Ford and Antoine Jameson and Tyler Hansbrough, and I'm leaving a bunch out, are on that list. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to now have your name on that list?
I mean, it means a lot. Just to hear those names you just listed, it's remarkable. A lot of great players have come through this program and have done some great things, not just at UNC, but beyond their professional career. So for me to my name to go under that list, I mean, that's just a true testament to my work ethic, and constantly just staying the course and being patient throughout it all.
It feels like you've done so many things at Carolina. You could have left and just had kind of an ability to sleep at night without wondering, but you have made crystal clear. I don't know how long the list is of things you still want to get done, but you've made real clear winning an NCAA title is one of the main reasons you're back. How many other things are on that list, and why is that very hard to achieve thing still kind of burning a hole in your soul?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things on my list, and just in terms of my legacy, how I want to be remembered here, leaving an impact on my teammates, my community. And it's hard to say no to University of North Carolina, such a prestigious school here, and just the relationship I've built has been like they're beyond basketball, they're beyond my time here. But at the same time, it's just overall I just want to win. I'm a huge competitor. I love to win. I don't like to lose, so another reason why I've came back. But yeah, I mean, just overall, just enjoying my process, enjoying my 5th year. Understanding that I have a big challenge in terms of a leadership role standpoint from having younger guys inexperienced, but I think everything happens for a reason. And this is why I'm still here today in this university in UNC Jersey. So take full advantage of that and understand that God has a plan for me and I'm able to accomplish all things.
I wonder, on this list, what is most meaningful to you? You hold the Smith Center scoring record. You have the single-season UNC three-point record. Mm-hmm. You, of course, have been a part of an NCAA runner-up. You've been a part of an ACC first-place team. And there are other things I could list. Is one of those most important to you or most meaningful to you?
Yeah, I'll probably say winning the ACC regular season title. That hasn't been done for a while. I think maybe Kobe White's year was last year, if I can recall, that we won. But I think that is the most memorable for me, just in terms of the team we had. It was like literally like the most genuine team I've built connections with. It felt like we were actually family just from the time they stepped onto campus. So just to kind of win that regular season title and to go through what we did, and obviously people had speculations about us going to the year. And we were concerned a little bit, but for us to overcome that and kind of tune that out and win the regular season, that means a lot because team success is more than individual success.
It feels like 95% of your memories from last year should be happy, positive memories. Mm-hmm. Alabama was not in that 95%. Is that something that you just flush and turn the page, or is that something where this offseason you looked at that game, again on video to see what you could learn from it?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that adds fuel to my fire. Because obviously that's, not the way I wanted, my college career to end. Obviously, thankfully, I have another year. But just in terms of the team we had and the opportunity we had to go far in the tournament as we did, and just come up short like that, definitely motivates me to come into this year I haven't turned the page on that. It actually just allows me to fully come into the person and the player that I know I'm able to, and I have the potential to. So just kind of add on to that to my checklist and come back better than last year.
Your good buddy Armando Bacot told us that when he looked at his professional future, he could actually make more money in name, image, likeness money by staying with the Tar Heels than if he had to end up maybe trying to play overseas. Tell us, how did that kind of equation work for you? Did you and your agent or your family, look at your pro prospects and look at what you could make just to pay your bills and have some fun if you stayed at Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think NIL has been a tremendous advantage for us athletes, just kind of just benefit off of our name and image and likeness, and kind of just it put us in great positions, to be successful. Obviously, in previous years we weren't, before NIL was even the thing, a lot of players weren't able to capitalize off of that, but now we're able to do that. But for me, basketball has always been the main thing. It's never been about the money. It's never been about the brand or the deals. I love playing this game, and I always keep the main thing. And if I have another year to come back and obviously, I'm not saying goodbye to my dreams of playing at the next level professionally, but it's more so I'm kind of putting it on pause a little bit. If I have another year to play at this university and do a lot of great things and break some records, and I'm going to go for it.
What do you miss most about Armando?
Just his presence. I always said Armando felt like he's been here for 8 years, not 5. But I mean, that's like one of my big brother's best friends. I enjoy just the time we spent the past 4 years I've been with him. It's hard to replace him. He's one of one. There's nobody in this world like him, literally. But
on or off the court.
On and off the court, he's a character. But I do miss him a lot, and I know he's gonna do big things and great things on the professional level.
It will not surprise you to know that we in the media miss him as
I know
well.
y'all do.
He's a lot of fun. Hey, I forget if you would have beaten Brady Manick in a three-point shooting contest. I can't remember. That's kind of irrelevant for today's purposes. But how about you and Cade Tyson? Because that dude, man, you're a 40+% three-point shooter. Mm-hmm. That dude shot 47% from three. That's hard,
That's
man.
hard to do.
At Belmont or anywhere else. What have you seen from him, and who do you think would win a three-point shooting contest?
Yeah, I mean, Cade has been great. I mean, just his ability to shoot the ball and spread the floor, contested or not contested, his catch and shoot is crazy. A quick release. I enjoy playing with him. Just his ability to kind of just spread the floor out a little bit. I think you guys are going to expect some great things from him. But I'm going to take myself and shoot a three-point contest. I have ultimate confidence in me, so I got me.
You mentioned last year felt like you had a bunch of 30-year-olds, which cracked me up. That was a slight exaggeration, but we knew what you meant. When you see brand new guys like Ian Jackson and Drake Powell, obviously they're talented. How much can they help you guys right away?
They can help us right away, like as soon as they stepped onto campus. Just from their talent perspective and their grit and mindset and their hard work, they're going to be huge for us. And I've told them that. Make sure they knew that, because we're going to need them. We're going to use them in ways that could benefit us, but also benefit them.
In sports, we talk a lot about impact players who make a positive difference. When it comes to our state's economy, the North Carolina pork industry is a true MVP. Each year, the pork industry plays an important role in supporting rural communities across our state. It contributes more than $10 billion a year to the North Carolina economy and supports more than 44,000 jobs. Learn more about their positive impact at ncpork.org. The North Carolina Pork Council, the foundational partner of the North Carolina Sports Network.
This segment brought to you by our great friends at Atlantic Tire and Service, where DG and his family take all of their vehicles for routine maintenance, service needs, and a world-class selection of new tires. Atlantic Tire and Service, your one-stop tire and auto repair provider with highly trained technicians and a sales and support staff that are second to none. They've grown to 6 Triangle area locations, 2 in Raleigh, 2 in Cary, 1 in Durham, and 1 in Wake Forest. You can learn more online at AtlanticTireOnline.com.
Welcome back to the David Glenn Show. Our next guest is one of the best athletes in the Atlantic Coast Conference, one of the best defenders in the Atlantic Coast Conference. He is a junior guard for the North Carolina Tar Heels via the great state of Wisconsin. Seth Trimble, welcome to the David Glenn Show. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. So you come up with this big smile on your face, you play basketball with a joy, and I have to ask you a sad question right out of the gate. So I apologize.
It's all good.
The month of April was hard on you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we see your season end, and I saw you share with the world that you broke down crying because of the intense emotions of entering the transfer portal and then deciding your ultimate home was to stay at Carolina. Take us through that process, because I think a lot of human beings can identify with the high ups and the low downs and now the bounce back.
Yeah, making that decision, that decision to enter the transfer portal, it was so heavy just on my heart. Like I said, I broke down. It didn't just happen once. It's not really something that I wanted to do, but in that moment, in that position, it felt like something that needed to be done. So it was one of the most stressful times of my life, but I prayed and prayed and prayed literally throughout the whole portal process, continuously talked with my parents and coaches and agent and, hire guys up who make decisions at the end of the day. But, I got good feedback and it felt right. It felt right. After praying and doing what I needed to do, Carolina was the clear home for me.
So you have your faith, which is one conversation. You have your parents, as you said. I heard you share that you talked with Coach Davis, of course. Coach Lebo was buzzing your phone when you were down in Florida taking some time off. You even talked to some former Tar Heels. Tell us about the Coach Lebo impact and what former Tar Heels kind of just helped you see things with some clarity.
Coach Lebo has been my guy. He's taken me in since, the second I stepped on campus. All freshman year, I kind of tell people, Coach Lebo, he loved to pick on me and just, he loved to make sure it was known that he was there to pick on me. So, but it just honestly, it built our relationship so much. Like, I saw him as like a mentor, like a father figure in the program. I still do. So just being able to have Coach Lebo, the support he gave me when I was in the portal, he called me continuously. I sat down with him before I went out of town a good 2 or 3 times, and I spilled my emotions with him. Tears were shed with him, and I was comfortable with it. So it just showed the relationship that we had. And then I was able to talk to Danny Green. Danny Green reached out to me when I was in the portal, when I was away from North Carolina, take some time away. Danny Green called me, and we had a really good 20, 30-minute talk of just how his situation and how he grew at North Carolina and how it's kind of similar to me, but he wasn't just trying to get me back to North Carolina. He was really showing like true, genuine support in my next step, no matter if it was at North Carolina or at a different school. And that meant a lot to me, because it just showed like the Carolina family. He wasn't being selfish and just only supporting me if I was coming back to North Carolina, but he was supporting me just in everything.
That's a fascinating story, because, people near your program understand what Carolina family means. There's probably some ABC fans, anybody but Carolina, who roll their eyes when they hear. But for the record, like Danny Green and our guest Seth Trimble are separated by more than a decade in terms of when he wore the uniform. So how far does that family extend? Because clearly it's not like you guys had a locker room in common.
It goes so far. There's coaches that Coach Davis, Coach Sullivan, who still come back. They'll come for camps, they'll come watch our practices, and they always have advice and just intel to give us. They're always helping us out. So, that's how far it goes back. It's crazy, but it's such a blessing to have. It truly is such a blessing.
Some of my team wants you to fiddle with your hair a little bit. For the record, I vote I like it this way, not that I really have a vote. It looks great on TV, but you said something interesting earlier. It makes you feel different when you wear it this way, your hair?
So when I wear my braids, it's more just like swaggy, pretty boy. So I don't really like playing with it. When I wear my fro, it gives me just like a real rough, just ready to go vibe, like ready to get down dirty, do whatever I need to do type of vibe,
So this is your superhero look right here.
Yeah, the fro. I've been rocking it since forever, literally, so.
I love it. Hey, you are known for your athleticism. This might sound like a goofy question, but is it mostly something you're born with? Like, did you have a springy step at like 5 and 8 and 10 years old? Or is it something that you truly can work on?
Both. It truly was something that I was born with. You look at my brother, I'd like to say it's our mom's genes. Our mom's genes was truly something special because we both had that incredible, we both had that incredible bounce, that first step.
True.
It's crazy, but we also worked on it our whole lives with the same trainers. You know, his trainer was my trainer, is still my trainer to this day, and then Jonas at our strength coach at UNC has only helped us more and more. So both. It's a great mix of both, truthfully.
And when Seth mentions his brother, that's JP Tokoto, another of the great athletes in the history of Carolina basketball, as is our guest, Seth Trimble. I don't know Mom, so was she an athlete herself?
Mom was an athlete. Mom ran track. She sprinted, okay. So, you know, the sprinters really have it. But Grandpa was a professional soccer player. He was a captain for Cameroon's World Cup team in '82.
Wow. Played
for PSG, so the genes started there.
Yeah, there's some genes working in your advantage.
I won't discredit my dad, though. I'm not going to discredit my dad. He knows I get the looks and whatnot. Yeah, that's like from him.
Got to slide in some love for Dad. I respect that. I thought it was cool, one of the things you shared, and you've just been so transparent and communicative about all these personal things, which I think people appreciate. You said Coach Davis fundamentally wants me to be me, which sounds simple, but there's a lot of agendas in this world. You have you star athletes have a lot of people in your ears about a lot of things. Just take me through the emotions of how Coach Davis's style helped you find peace during this weird time.
Oh, I mean, he plays fast, exactly how I want to play. And this summer, he's really just put trust in his guards just to go and make a play, and that's been huge. That's always how I played AAU, high school ball. I've just had trust in my coaches just to go and perform, and I feel like that's really all you need, you know? So he's been doing that this summer, and he's been doing that really since I got here, and it's been huge. It's going to pay off well.
So Armando has a good sense of humor, so he won't take this the wrong way. But you're going to be smaller, more athletic, and faster. Now, I know you miss his rebounding and all, but tell me how, like, you guys could have 6 foot, 6'1", 6'3", 6'7", and then maybe Jalen or somebody else in the post. But that sounds small. Can you still be a great rebounding team while also getting up and down the court?
Absolutely. Our athletic ability makes up for it. And not even discrediting Ellie and RJ either. RJ has been a great rebounder his whole career, actually. I remember my junior year, there was always, my freshman year, his junior year, RJ always had games with like the 9 rebound games and the 8 rebound games. So everybody on this team can do it. It just has to come from a will, a want, and an effort of boxing out. We take care of that, we're going to be able to get whatever board we want.
You worked your tail off on your three-point shooting, and if I remember last year, it was over 40%, which is a great number. But I'm going to ask you about 3 other three-point shooters. If there was just a flat-out three-point shooting contest among your former teammate Brady Manick, the ACC Player of the Year RJ Davis, and the new guy Cade Tyson, who shot 47% from 3 last year at Belmont, who wins that?
The only time I see RJ miss is if I'm guarding him. So otherwise, I don't really ever see him miss. Brady was a year before me, so it wasn't right. But Brady was an elite sharpshooter. Cade has shot 46%. You can't get more elite than that. But RJ, the variety in how he does it is insane. So I think I'm gonna take RJ.
Last thing for you, it's literally in your bio on the Carolina website. Team's best on-ball defender. Not every high school superstar wants to play defense. How and why has that become so central to your identity?
Because defense is so important in today's game. Being a smaller guard, if you're not going to play defense, you're not really going to make it to the next level. So I embrace it. I know that's part of my game, and I know it's just only going to help me in the long run embracing it. So I have no problem with doing it.
Last thing for you, what's your message to Tar Heel Nation that's happy to have you back for your junior year?
Tar Heel Nation, I love and appreciate all the support. It's going to be a good year, and as always, go Heels.
Michael Berard, Managing Director Investments with the Founders Group at Stifel, works with a select group of high net worth individuals and institutions to develop and implement investment plans tailored to their specific objectives and risk tolerances. If you are interested in highly personalized, well-researched guidance and outstanding personal service, you can contact Michael at 984-364-2002. That's 984-364-2002. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. The Lawson Insurance Group in Raleigh is a family-owned business led by 3 actual brothers who happen to be huge sports fans: Ken Lawson, Miller Lawson, and Michael Lawson. I know these guys, I trust these guys, and I send these guys my own insurance business and that of my family. The next time you have insurance needs, I hope you'll do the same. The Lawson Insurance Group is known for its commitment to community and its dedication to ensuring that North Carolinians and their businesses are prepared for life's inevitable challenges, with the reminder that as a high street insurance partner, Lawson Insurance Group offers local expertise and support that, combined with High Street's extensive national resources, means more choice and support for you as their client. To learn more, search Lawson Insurance Group online. The Lawson Insurance website will be the first link that pops up. Our next guest led the Tar Heels to the 2022 NCAA Tournament Championship game. He also helped them to the regular season title last year in the Sweet 16 when he once again helped them win 29 games. He's now the 4th-year head coach of the Tar Heels, the former Tar Heel player, Hubert Davis. Coach, welcome back to the David Glenn Show. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I have known you for so long that I know that you signed with the Tar Heels a couple years after they built that beautiful building called the Dean E. Smith Center that you get to walk into. I want to get to your team, of course, but I'm just curious, as the head coach, if they ask your 2 cents about these plans for the future home of Carolina basketball, what is your 2 cents?
Well, my 2 cents would be to stay in the Smith Center. It's obviously there's history for myself. When you walk through that tunnel, you think about the great players, coaches, teams, memories in that building that I've also experienced as a player, as an assistant coach, and as a head coach. And when you walk through that tunnel, the first thing you see is the championship banners, and then you look the opposite direction, you see all those jerseys honored and retired. And on the outside it says Coach Dean Smith. I don't want that to ever change. Coach Smith built it. Obviously we've had unbelievable coaches like Coach Williams and Coach Guthridge and Coach Doherty, but I never want to leave the Dean Smith Center. It connects me to Coach Smith, and I never want to be disconnected from him.
You might have been too young, but there's a great story about how they had to talk him into his name being on the building.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he never wanted to be acknowledged. He never wanted everything that was acknowledged was about the team, and it was a big deal to put his name on there. But as I go to work every day and I see him up there, that puts a huge smile on my face.
Your humility reminds me a lot of his humility, which I know you'll take as a compliment. You have never coached a UNC team without a big fella named Armando Bacot. Well, at least as a head coach. We miss him in the media too, which does not surprise you. Yeah. What do you miss most about that big fella?
Well, his personality. He was a leader. He was a connector. He was a guy that brought teammates together. His voice in the locker room was something that bound us all together, and it's something that you don't really truly know you'll miss until he's gone. And I saw him over the summer, and I knew he was one of one, but to be able to experience him not being in that locker room, on that floor during practice, and obviously not out there in the games, yeah, you'll miss him on the court, but more so, I just miss him in the locker room and being around him every day.
Hubert Davis of UNC joining us here on the David Glenn Show. The last time we saw you on the court, of course, it was a disappointment against Alabama. Do you use that as off-season fuel? Do you watch that video for purposes of the returning players, or do you just kind of flush it and turn the page?
Well, I think you do a combination of both. I mean, last year was last year, this year is this year. This year's team is different than last year's team, and it's important for this team to, and I said this to the group a couple days ago at practice, for this year's team to find their own voice in the team that they want to become. But also, there's things that drive you and motivate you, and especially from, the 5 returning players, being up 3 with 1:28 to go, having a chance to play for the final 8. That's something that you always remember and want to be in that position again and possibly have a chance for things to turn out a little bit differently.
You've told us many times that rebounding is central to how often you say number one, the biggest difference between winning and losing. I'm picturing lineups where it's like a couple of 6-foot guards and maybe a 6'7" power forward. I know you have Jalen Washington and others down low. Can you be a great rebounding team when you have, at least by Carolina standards, a much smaller team?
Yeah, you can, and that is what is required of this year's team. And you're right, rebounding is the number one determining factor of an outcome of a game. It's not going to have Armando and Harrison Ingram, which led the ACC in rebounding in ACC conference games. They're not here. So that gives opportunity for guards, wings, our bigs to fill that void. And it may not come from, obviously it's not coming from Armando or Harrison, but it's going to come from a number of different ways. And my communication with the team is it's not necessarily who it needs to come from, but it has to get done for us to be the best team that we could be.
There's an upside and a downside to every approach, and obviously when you go small, you can be faster. And RJ said one of your messages is you guys want to be the fastest team in America from free throw line to free throw line. Just expand on that a little bit, because he says if they don't do it quick enough, you call it a turnover.
I do. I just want to play at tremendous pace. One, because that's the way that I want to play, and number two is I feel like that benefits this year's team. And it's just not just the pace from defense to offense, it's the pace from offense back to defense too. And so we have athleticism, we have length, we have versatility, and we have an opportunity to play at tremendous pace. With that versatility, I think it allows us to be a really good team.
I'll never forget, I covered you as a player, and you shot 49% roughly from three-point land one year. That's crazy, man. And that's about almost 1 out of 2 is going in. Cade Tyson shot roughly 47% at Belmont last year. What can you tell us about an unusual guy from a basketball family? He's 6'7", but he can shoot the rock and do a lot of other things.
Yeah, he is, but he's a basketball player. Obviously, he's gifted in terms of being able to shoot the ball from three, but he's an excellent rebounder. He's 6'8", he's versatile defensively, can guard a number of different positions. He can make plays off the bounce, excellent passer, knows how to move without the ball. Just a smart, instinctive player that is going to be used in a number of different areas on both ends of the floor. And so I'm excited to see this, for him to play with us and being on the highest stage, and for people to be able to see what a talented player and what an unbelievable person he is.
There's a lot of hype down the road about a guy named Cooper Flagg and a number 1 Duke recruiting class. In the transfer portal era, freshmen don't as often have huge impacts, but what can you share about your freshmen, including Ian Jackson and Drake Powell, because it looks like you're going to need them to help right away?
No, they're Ian and Drake and James Brown, they're needed to play essential and big roles for us to be successful this year. And they're extremely talented. They've got a hunger and thirst to be a part of this team and a part of this program, be successful in their own right. But they also come with that with a level of humbleness and commitment to the program that I don't think is seen very much. And so to have coached them is early in the season has been such a joy and a blessing, and I'm so glad that they're Tar Heels.
His name is Hubert Davis, North Carolina's head coach heading into year 4. Coach, as always, thanks for the time on the David Glenn Show.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.